we've just listened to two powerful and complementary presentation in the sense that they both complement each other. So what emerges clearly is this social healing, values cohesion, values reorientation, cohesion, and migration are not separate conversations. From listening to Ambassador, you could see that they are deeply linked. So when trust breaks down, people leave. So that's what you see when people leave their local communities. When trust breaks down, that people leave. And then when values erode, institutions are weakened. And then again, when cohesion collapses, even prosperity feels highly unsafe. And that is the situation we find ourselves in our dear region. But then, the Southeast is one of the most entrepreneurial regions in Nigeria, and by extension, in the world. I think you can clap for yourself for that. We deserve that clap, you know. So, thank you. Yet, many of our people take their investments out of the Southeast. We don't just invest our produce, we also take away a lot of emotional capital elsewhere. So that's why sometimes you see us in Lagos and other parts of the country, and the kind of conversations that go on, we carry our emotions elsewhere. There are times that you need the home truth to be told within home, Nime Palo, just as we are doing here today. So, what we are going to do, that many of our people also do invest this emotional capital elsewhere, outside the Southeast. And that is not just a good economic decision. It is a social signal. And so my question to the room is this. What would it take for the Southeast to become not just a place of origin? Because for some of us, Southeast is simply remembered when you are asked, what is your state of origin? What do we do to move Southeast from, let it not just be a place of origin, but a place of return, a place of reinvestment, and a renewed belonging by the year 2050. And specifically, what must we heal? What must we relearn? And what must we do differently with one another to make that future credible? What we are going to do now at this point, we will open the floor for contributions, for questions, and for any remark that will help us move this conversation forward. So, be it, but let me just pick a quick guide, something that guides us as we hold this conversation. It's an honest truth-telling moment, but what we should have at the back of our mind at this point is, I just want to bring up 3 key areas. I think it will help us in framing our questions, our contributions, because the time is far spent, so that we fix ourselves within this. When it comes to healing, so this does not become a talk shop. That's why I think we need to frame it this way. When the first one is healing, so when we're talking about healing, we say, what unresolved wounds, whether it be personal or communal or even institutional, that continues to block trust in our region? That's one. way to look at it. And then secondly, values reorientation. Which values have we lost, compromised, or failed to pass? Let me take that again. Which values have we lost? I want to see in this room somebody that really brings out that key values that makes us great as a people. Which values have we lost? Which values have we compromised or failed to pass on to the next generation? And how do we consciously restore them? Then when it comes to the issue of social cohesion, we want to have what practical actions can strengthen trust across communities in the Southeast region, across generations, and across interests. If you don't have interest as a region, then you've not started being part of this committee of states called Nigeria. So let me put this, let's keep the contributions brief and solution-oriented so we can hear as many voices as possible. That will be my play. Who has the microphone? And we have our two brilliant speakers right here to take your questions if you have one. And can the mic come here? I'm very happy it's a woman that is asking the question, that raised the hand first. Or the hand I saw. Oh, there's a guy there too. Can you take the mic to the lady?
Thank you very much, the two presenters, for the wonderful presentation. My name is Ijeoma Ezaso, representing Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. We've had cohesion and healing paths before, after the war. One of them was Rangers International, which is sports marketing, sports management, and again, with all that Rangers achieved, and Iwanyawo National, Enyim Baba, we do not have a concrete infrastructure that is of global scale that we can use in the Southeast. I'm trying to link it to the economy. Where we heal, we also link it to how we can make money and grow out of it. We've, in the past, had music. Oriental Brothers was also part of the healing in the Southeast. Enugu was known in the past, at least I saw some part of it, that every beer parlor or hotel had a resident band. So we had even the music and creative arts has gone to another level now. We had those parts of the healing, the Oriental Brothers and other smaller bands, which we had immediately after the war. But now that music is now generating enough money, the Southeast do not have the infrastructure to hold concerts. The markets. Nkwanewi did not exist until after the war. Then Nnewi went back. So we have had practical examples of how what the healing and cohesion worked after the war. But it braked. After some time, we lost it. I am also one of the people who say that it seems the Southeast fared better under military administrators than from 1999, the class of 1999, where we had unbroken democracy. And again, the Southeast Development Commission, where it comes from. If we were able to unite ourselves after the war with the shared values, shared things that united us, now that we are able to make more money out of it using the media, how do we make the Southeast the global space for reverse migration? Like His Excellency, the Ambassador said, time up for the Igbos in diaspora. It is time to come home.
Thank you very much. Let me pause you there and take the next That's a very important point you've raised, and I like the way you were able to put the backgrounds to your framing of your question. It helps a lot. So can we take the next person? Where's the mic? Can you come this way? Come this way. Go there. Please speak, get straight to the point.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Emeka Nwusu. I'm from Abia State, and I consult for the ECOWAS Parliament in Abuja. I want to speak with particular reference to the issue of healing raised by Chukwumerije. I'm a student of history and I've followed issues. The question is, can there be social healing? Can there be national healing without national reconciliation? Because what I've seen in this country, that we are running away from addressing issues. If you go to what happened in South Africa after the inauguration of Mandela in 1994, in 1995, there was this Truth and Reconciliation Commission that was set up. And that commission, the work they did went a long way in bringing national healing to the country that is known as South Africa today. Again, if you go to Rwanda, after the genocide of 1994, in which the Tutsis and the Hutus were locked in a war of almost attrition and extermination, and they lost close to 1 million people. Under the pragmatic leadership of Paul Kagame, they came together and swore never again. And that was why today you can't even talk about I am a Tutsi or Hutu, because it is banned. You are a Rwandan. They achieved that because there was a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. In the case of Nigeria, President Obasanjo made a very serious effort for us to address the historical grievances in this country. And Chukwumerije that presented a paper here today, his father made a presentation on behalf of Ndibo on the platform of Ohaneze. And issues were clearly stated. All the wrongs that were done to Igbo people were clearly documented. At the end of the day, what happened? The Chukwudifu Opota panel produced a very fantastic report. But today, that report is nowhere to be found in Nigeria. All the recommendation was ever implemented. So that's why I'm asking the question, can we ever achieve social healing in this country or even cohesion without national reconciliation? Thank you very much.
Very, very succinctly put. So I like how you were able to take us to that era. Just hold that thought. I think they will be able to respond to that. Can we have the next... just keep moving the mic so that we give everybody, every section of the hall opportunity. Move to the next. I think there's a young lady there. Can you take to the purple person? Then you take to the guy in milk color there. Who is the person?
Hello, thank you. Yeah, my name is Christopher Kaufo. I'm the Statistician General of Enugu State. I'm happy to be here, and I've listened through the discussion since we started. And I'm happy that Chukwumerije raised issues about values and the trauma people have gone through. And one thing I want to also contribute is that because of this experience people have had, especially Igbos, some are beginning to lose their Igbo-ness. Some are not also very willing to admit their Igbos. And this has also rubbed off and is affecting our language. You see, most modern mothers, because they call that thing mother tongue. Mother tongue is the first language the child hears from the mother. But most modern mothers, I'm sorry to say, prefer to speak English to their children rather than Igbo. So this is where Southeast Development Commission should come in as a neutral body in the promotion of Igbo values and cultures, and especially Igbo language. Our children, most mothers give them laptops, phones, and the rest of them. Why can't we get our experts in collaboration with IT specialists? We get Igbo language, ABC, all these things, and infuse in tablets, which will be shared in schools and the rest of them. And people, rather than using just the one for, what do you call it, for English, you now use that for Igbo. Now, having said that, let me now go again to raise this issue, which is a cross-cutting issue. I want to talk about statistics. We've been talking about coordination, collaboration, assessment, impact
60
assessment.
seconds, please.
Yes. What do we do? How do we do that? It's through data. But the truth is that most of the research, bureaus of statistics in Igbo land, they are grossly under-resourced in terms of manpower, equipment, and finance. And this is where SEDC can come in, because we are living in a world where data is the language. Data is the currency of the 21st century. Without data, you can't do much. And now, people are advancing in data collection. We are still using paper, this thing. We are using manual forms of capturing data.
You should be rounding up.
Yeah.
Sir.
But we should also move to CAPI, computer-aided personal interviewing, rather than paper personal interviewing. So, and again, we should be linking our statistical agencies such that even SEDC can have a dashboard where data from all the 5 this thing could be collated. They could sponsor the production of GDP, state GDP, so that even the investors will see all the areas they can come and invest.
Thank you.
In. So these are areas we want to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you go to the next person, let me pause you there so we can hear another perspective. However, please, let's connect that experience to forward-looking solutions. We can agonize from here to tomorrow. Everybody in this room, we all do know what the issues are, I believe. But I'll gently bring us back to the future we are designing. This is Vision 2050. We're trying to design a future for the Southeast. And we do understand that you can build all of the critical physical infrastructure and build all the rails and all of that, and you don't address the issue of healing, and these are social infrastructure, and I must commend the Southeast Development Commission for having this section integrated into this. But let's see it from result-oriented, let it be result-driven, so we can design that future we are looking for. Can you give to the next person, we have another perspective, please? And please keep it to 1 minute.
Thank
Go
you.
straight to your question.
My name is Professor Otu Akano Otu. I want to seriously thank Chief Chukwumerije for his lectures. I think that he digressed so much into the national question when we are supposed to be concentrating on the Southeast question. As far as character reorientation is concerned, I think I always say that we always accuse the young ones when it comes to character reorientation, but we always excuse ourselves. I mean the elders, the leaders, for this kind of issues. On 9th November 2025, a certain presently serving governor of a state in the Southeast labeled a former governor's supporters as social media mobs. This is a foul language. And our young ones are listening to us. And he also likened their behavior as Hitler in the making. When our young ones hear all these kind of things, how are they going to like themselves? Then you see some people, when they see their Igbo brothers and sisters, they will call them Ndewawa.
Round up, please.
Nwa Abakaliki, Nwa Nsukka. All these kind of things. I've heard allusions. When you go to the public space, you will begin to hear comments like, is this how we are going to treat ourselves when we get the Biafra? I am not an advocate of Biafra anyway. But people make allusion that, look, we don't like ourselves. And it is getting too much. So when we are talking about how other geopolitical zones see us and like us, let us come home and talk about how we see ourselves. We don't see ourselves as friends. We don't see ourselves as brothers. We don't see ourselves as sisters. At least let us take from there, because charity begins at home. Thank you.
I hear you. I want to acknowledge that point you've made, but can we also hear from somebody else? I hope you are making notes of the...
Good evening, Ma. Thank you for the presentation. My name is Amarachi, and I want to speak for the young people, because it's very important that we note that we have over 60% of the population as young people in Nigeria. So the moment we get anything right with young people, it means we are getting it right with the future. So now we have a lot of young people that are born with these unresolved wounds and all. So we don't even know the version of these stories that they have. We don't know the imprints they are carrying, the wounds they have. So I think that we should design projects, youth-focused projects, to draw out the real stories from these young people. This is going to help us to know where they are emotionally and how these wounds, the pain, is shaping their thinking and their behavior. Because the moment we do that, we can now know the solution to offer. Because you cannot do a proper treatment without diagnosis. And you cannot do diagnosis without first getting the patient's complaints. Thank you.
Wow. So I think that was so well rendered. And I think the point she made is very, very key. A very important aspect. The young Igbo children, the young people, this should be intergenerational. People need to also know what their parents have dealt with, which parts they've passed in life, whether it's the war, whether it's continued policies that still continue to exclude them. So if anything, it's very important to have an infusion of interaction between, knowledge must be handed down from the old to the young people. I think Chimamanda Adichie, we won't have a Chimamanda today if nobody told her the story that she writes about. And she wasn't born during the war. She never had an experience of the war. But when she tells her story, it will be as if she was right there and even carried the gun. So yes, I agree with that. And let's quickly move to the play, please. Let's keep.
My name is Dr. Chukwemeka Nwogu. Good day all. I came here because I want the Southeast to move forward. And I want to drop some words to the Southeast Development Commission. I want to thank Chukwu Merije for what he has said. First, sincerely speaking, the Igbos are suffering in all the regions in Nigeria, and we need to be back. First of all, I want to tell the Southeast Development Commission, the MD, that he is the Governor General of the Southeast. People have just said here, the policy and politics should shake hands. People have also said here, you don't need to say where you come from. Amabia, I'm this. Abumwafibo is very important. It's not only that should go ahead,
The manufacturers who come from the southeast, when you come here, you want to produce things that are not substandard or fake. We have to, first of all, reorient ourselves before we can now amend the government. Again, I want to also let everyone know that in this southeast, we are. The hospitals, I want to say this because I have seen hell in University of Lagos teaching hospital where I'm a surgeon. Igbo man comes there is no best place. Yoruba man comes, there's a best place. Chukwumerije has said it all. In this, our place here, you are working in UNTH, you have hospital opposite, and you are a consultant. Kai. As you are treating the patient in the government hospital, you are earning salary. You are telling him you will die here, move to the other side. Very wrong. You can see how profiteering the Igbos are. Look, the drugs, when we talk about referral letters, kidney failure, liver failure, 75% are Igbos coming to the other region. And they are coming from here. Why? Southeast Development Commission. It is fake, substandard products we're eating here. I'm also telling you people, because I don't know why I have not seen health. I am here because I want to change the narrative. I am angry. I have come here because, even because of fake drugs in the Igbo land, I have decided to own a pharmaceutical company. And I started producing drugs. And I want to give drugs in Igbo land, in the hospital, Southeast Development Commission, hold me responsible. I want to give drug at manufacturing price in the hospitals poor man and poor woman can get. At very, very no profit. Let me just start by changing the narrative. Sincerely speaking, we are killing ourselves. The Igbos, let's love ourselves first before a Yoruba man will love you or a Hausa man will love you. Finally, I want to say this before I drop this microphone. Please, the Southeast Development Commission, let there be a committee for everything. Get intelligent people that have self-discipline, corruption-less, and put them in that committee and let there be punishment for anything anybody do. Let there be punishment for it. To be sincere with you, I am impressed with this commission, very highly impressed with the leadership, and I thank Chief Dr. Cliff Obede, who made me to be aware of this, and some other ones, Dr. Emeka Nwogu,
thank you,
and so on and so forth. May God bless you all.
Us. Very well said. I mean, I like that you were able to bring out your own pain points, and I think that's what this conversation is all about. Before we take, I see that hand up there and that one there. I've seen 4 hands. 5. Can we take all 5?
Help. My name is Marcy.
No, you've not been asked to take. You know, this is what we are still discussing here. Because I'm thinking we should come back for them to respond so they don't lose track of the questions that have been put. Right? I think you can respond to the... You're enjoying it. So do we take 3 more? So we need to come to this side. Can you?
I have mic here. I've been given mic already.
Can you bring the mic? Who has the mic?
Here.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
It's even my sister, Joe. Go ahead.
Thank you. One of the, let me thank the presenters. Your Chukwumerije took me back, but I've come back. Took me back to the Nigerian Biafran War because I was a teenager then. Anyway, one of the contributors said that or expressed concern whether the social healing you are talking about will be possible if there is no national healing or any attempt at the national level to bring about the social healing. So my question to you now, and to each and every one of us, if the national is not ready, what do we do? Yes. You know, that national healing is a tall order. Those of us who live outside or married outside, we know the way we are seeing. I must tell you that. So we don't have to wait till the national healing occurs. Let us start from our backyard. And one of my recommendations is the commission should invest in sensitization of our people. Very, very important. That will also bring about even healing ourselves, changing the mindset, that self-awareness that we are capable of doing stuff. Let me stop here so that I don't take your time. I think my point has been made. National healing should start with us. Sensitization, community town hall, very, very important. Thank you.
Those are very strong solutions she has also profiled. So can you take the mic?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Namdi Omona.
Before you go on, please, some people are complaining of marginalization even within this process. So once you are done there, please run that mic back to this side.
All right. My name is Namdi Omonabike. I am a community youth leader. I was born and raised in Mafoluku, Oshodi, Lagos. From my childhood till date, there's this character amongst Igbo traders that keeps multiplying and keeps scaling. Culture is the way of life of a people. And the data may not be correct, but we Igbos do this more than every other person. In the market, women are always harassed by Igbo traders. Their breasts groped, their buttocks groped, and there is no accountability. Nobody is warning the next person. Nobody is sensitizing the next person. It becomes a norm. Those who were apprentices, those who were doing Iba boy, they grow up watching this and they become worse than even their masters. Please, how can we solve this scourge? Because it is giving us a nauseating name that is beyond imagination. That's a question that has been bothering me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you bring back the mic to this way, please? Hello, bring the mic here. From there, you come back this way, please. The mic kicked off from here and has gone there. So, yes.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Honorable Uchenna Harris Okonkwo, member representing Idemili North and South Federal Constituency from Anambra State. My submission is going to be very quick. In the month of December, I was speaking with a very senior Ebo of mine from the Southwest. And he said something to me. He said that we Igbos, we have a lot of work to do on our hands. What work is that? That we need to be able to reconcile within ourselves. That is very important. I said, why are you saying that? I said, well, if we want to attain what we want, what we desire in Nigeria, we need to come within ourselves as a conference and reconcile within ourselves, which is what my big brother mentioned earlier on. Forgive and release. nobody is going to come and tell us sorry for what happened. That's the first thing we need to realize and tell that to ourselves and say, yes, we should not be expecting any apology as it is. But we need to be able to take it upon ourselves, heal from whatever has happened in the past. Remember also what has happened in the past, because it's been displayed in some other countries. For example, people have mentioned Rwanda, but there are other African countries as well. And what did they do? They built museums. Those museums act as a remembrance place for what had happened in the past, and it gives them a sense of what? Healing, in order for them to go and reconcile. We have one here that is in Umar here, but how much is it being advocated? How many times has our students gone there for excursion? How many times has the place said, okay, it needs to be revamped? How many other museums within the Southeast region have said, okay, can this come about? There should even be one within every state of the Southeast that should commemorate what has happened in the past. So that way, our children can know the history, which is very important, that would help us healing. And then we have to just say, let us let go. Let us reintegrate ourselves to the national polity. It is very important. If we can achieve that, I think we have passed the first hurdle before we now go on to the other things that was being recommended by my big brother. All the suggestions that have been made here are very apt, very modern, especially my sister that mentioned about, programs for youths, and I advocate for that, especially as a youth, especially one that was born in the time of the war, 1986. But if it is... they're doing it. But what I'm saying is that we ourselves, we have a lot to do within ourselves, and just to tell ourselves, okay, we can't carry this any longer. We need to drop it and then move forward, and we can move forward the train. Thank you very much.
Absolutely amazing. We can't hide this anymore. We need to tell ourselves the truth and then move forward. Where is the mic? Okay, can the mic move? Is there anybody else there? Can you give to PAMSEC, then you come here? Do we want to stay here till 7 p.m.? MD, should we continue? Okay, let's go.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Omosoro Maduka. I'm Permanent Secretary, Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs. My job is to observe, convey federal policies down to the grassroots, the subnationals, and hearing all stories, all discussions here, I'm glad I will comfortably be able to write a good report and take it up to the FEC through my minister, because my ministers are where we're here.
Beautiful.
I just wanted to make a slight response to my brother who spoke a few minutes ago. Let the commission be a development commission. Please leave politics alone. He was proposing that the MD should be the Governor General of the Southeast. But please, he should be MD of Southeast Development Commission. Forget politics. You try politics, they will air fry you. But by the time they finish with you, you won't even know whether you are alive. You won't even know when you are born. So please, let's demarcate clearly. This is not a political association. Leave politics for the governors. Leave politics for the senators, for the House of Reps, for the states officers. Please focus on development. Develop. The Secretary of State Government for Anambra came and said, let's have, let's focus on a few projects. We need to get to the sea. We need that sea route. So the Southeast Commission can give us the routes to the sea, give us the rail lines, give us the pipelines, and then allow the people explode. Please. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So there's a question here that was sent to me, and this is on the Igbo migration. So this person says the economic implications of Igbo migration, that it is seen as both a challenge, brain drain, labor shortages, and all an opportunity and remittances, then our entrepreneurial linkages. So he's saying, how can this vision 2050 that Southeast is trying to develop, how are they able to, if not stop, but at least reduce this migration for whatever reason? So can you move to the...
Good day. Let me stand on existing protocol. What I want to say now about what Chukwumeri just said about healing. The healing will come internally, because I remember on a fateful day we went to a wedding at Adamawa. On reaching Adamawa, we never knew that our brother is getting married to a northerner. Along the line, immediately they came inside the hall and made that their noise. Woo! Cry everywhere. Our brother has married Alausa Umalo. The whole women from East started crying. The whole church turned to a mourning place. We really need that healing. We need it. You know, I'm always shy speaking on the microphone. Let me go directly to what I want to say before about sustainability and prosperity. Please. Because you will say, what I want to say is about the sustainability. I can remember when Professor of Railways was alive late. When he called us for the Second River Niger Bridge, for the consultancy, he was working with routing consultancy. He came from UK and picked some of us. We saw a railway run line on the center, but when it was implemented, it disappeared. All these things are what we need SEDC to be our spokesman and ask questions when it is needed. We have a visionary governors like Sullivan. The bridge they did at Zikevenu Enugu, Broni Proni, they have a future and put a pillar in the center, which is a railway line in case of monorail. He did many years ago to show that he has a vision for the job. In rounding up what I'm saying, coming to the sustainability of this prosperity, if we cannot guard the one we have, it may be a very big work for SEDC, because I can see there's what is going on in the railway system that some people has been saying we need rail, we need rail, we need rail. I know that the Lagos Blue Line did not remove the old Lagos line and they still pass through it as their corridor. But here, our own were removed. And they are being bundled into long truss and being taken to a China company for melting. And nobody is asking any question. And I believe this Southeast Development Commission is where we have our mouth.
Thank you.
Some valuable
you
questions.
Need to round up and your time is up now. Thank you very much. So we can get the last person. I think that will be the last contribution.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to address this hall. I wanted to speak to the questions you asked about healing and the way forward. I believe that we need to, like the first commenter spoke, we ignore the unifying power of sports a lot. And I believe that if there is an opportunity to create a robust, positive competitive environment among Southeastern states, it helps build unity from the inside and helps us address a lot of issues. Saudi Arabia, after the unfortunate Jamal Khashoggi incident, ventured on a very elaborate sports washing campaign, and it has seen them fund through their sovereign wealth fund a very elaborate sporting investment that has improved and opened them up. Finally, Professor Chukwumeri spoke about how his father was a propagandist during the war. I think we, the Southeast Development Commission, can look towards funding storytelling through Nollywood that supporting stories that help tell the story of healing. If we look at our Nollywood and a lot of the content that we engage now, they perpetuate the existing schisms that exist. And hopefully, if the commission can come together, can develop a way whereby they help people who are telling the right stories to create a better image for the Southeast, for ourselves and others. Thank you very much.
I think he deserves a round of applause for that. Thank you very much. And that is where we will cut off the question and answer session. I think, can you please project the hashtag, the social media handles, and any other feedback mechanism? You can send in your any further questions, comments, or contribution to that. Can you please project it over there? And we need to quickly do run an exercise. Can you project that, please? It's on the lower. Okay. Look at the lower screen. Can you bring out your phones, please? Everybody in the room, can you bring out your phones, please? We need to quickly do this so that the healing will start from us. Get out your phones and say, I am thoroughly healed today. I now understand the need for social healing as a Southeasterner. Then put SEV2050. We want this hashtag to trend. And if all of you in this room can do that now, you will see we'll be #1 on the trend list. Can we do that, please? Let's do this exercise so that SCDC, this hashtag will trend. It's the primary hashtag for this conversation, SEV2050. Oh, you can just put up something. It could be on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere you are comfortable. I know some old people like us who like Facebook. Young Gen Zs are there on Twitter with Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And the MD is quite savvy there. So if you can do that exercise, it will really be helpful to trend this topic and get it to the right people for policy decision and all that. There's a question here that I'll read, and this person talks about, he commended the can-do spirit that DK Chukwumerije mentioned earlier, and talked about how we moved from can-do spirit to acute victim mentality, and which leads to national resentment. And he says, is there a way that we can create our own memorial day or something? So what he's saying is that he gave an example that the June 12th was earmarked by the country to celebrate for Democracy Day. Can there be something like that for the Southeast? That is among the things that can be unpacked. But the most important thing is all these suggestions and recommendations are very, 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 very important. And you keep them coming, but you can continue on any of those social handles. Do you have anything to say? To round up, maybe I take your questions, the questions that were addressed to you. I think one question was sent to Ambassador, His Excellency. Do you want to take that first? Or do you want me to repeat the question? Are you still? Okay.
Thank you once again for raising that question about the deleterious effects of migration, Igbo migration. Let me state categorically, the Igbo have a migration problem. Anyone who denies that doesn't understand the implications of the mass exodus. If the embassies of Western Europe and America and other places throw their embassies open today, say free visa, virtually the Igbos, including quite some of the young people here, will be sleeping at the embassy to get visas to Japa. It sounds sexy. It sounds useful because of the job opportunities, the social mobility you may get and all of that. But something dangerous is happening. We are exfoliating the Igbo civilization of its best minds in the professions. We are denudating ourselves of the young people who are the workforce, the strength of any society. This is something we must not forget. When we begin to take migration as a crutch, when we take migration as an existential necessity for our survival, it's become a strategy for the Igbo, and that is very dangerous. I know it is not popular to say that because Japa, I want to Japa is the new syndrome, is the thing that is out there. However, the dangers aside, the alluring parts are the diaspora remittances, which keeps families, which keeps some communities, which gives them the opportunity to access the daily needs of life. But what has it done for the Igbo collective? This is the question we're raising. And the thing you said is, how do we now raise the corporate content of this temporary asset we have? The Igbo in diaspora, the migration consequence is a temporary asset. That's why I was hammering on reverse migration. Even internal reverse migration from Nigeria itself is not an experience we have not had before. Only a few months ago, you were hearing Nigerians must go from Ghana, and it was interpreted to be Igbo must leave Ghana. We shouldn't take these things so not seriously, because they are serious. They can happen. And when they happen, what is the fallback plan that we have? So take reverse migration seriously. You say, how do we overcome all of that? We have created a scenario in which the Igbo nation is a civilization, is not a tribe. This is one of the mistakes we are making, even when we are talking about cohesion and all of that. The Igbo is not a tribe. The Igbo is a civilization. A civilization must be fed constantly by its own people. It must be manured and nurtured. Otherwise, that civilization dies. And that is what is happening to the Igbo. So what's the reversal point? The reversal point is, if we create that environment in which from Igbo Port Harcourt, River State, to Igbo Abia State, to Igbo Abakaliki, Enugu, Nsukka, and so on, you have a common center that brings all the elite together. Build elite consensus around this central trajectory of Igbo civilization. If we have that, that's exactly what we mean by an Igbo megacity. Nobody will ever tell you again, Igbo, go home, because they know you have where to go. They know definitely, if you say, Igbo, go home, Igbo is not just going home with its financial capital, it's going home with the intellectual capital it has, the professionalism, the entrepreneurial spirit, the can-do spirit they bring everywhere. And for those who say it is not possible, this is the annoying part, let me be frank. Those who say it is not possible to have an Igbo megalopolis, an Igbo's major city that other smaller cities link into. Who built Abuja? Was it not the Igbos? Quite a percentage of Abuja is built by the Igbos. If we can do it outside, please, I want somebody to persuade me why it cannot be done in Igbo land. This is the idea for an Igbo megacity. And when you do it, you solve so many problems. Tie the governor's hands. They have one common programmatic project. It's not a 5-year project. It's a programmatic project. We got 10 years later, it's still going on. It's still running. It's tying all the Igbo civilization together. This is what I think could sort out the problem. An Igbo megacity. As SEDC should consider it. Because the governors individually, thinking in silos and the politics which the professor explained here today, will not be able to come together to do it. The platform is SEDC. If they do that for the Igbo, they have helped to solve a huge problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The platform, he says, is SEDC. I think it's also our collectives. On that note, right about now, let me then invite DK, the poet, to do his thing. The couple of, I think the whole questions have been, so unpack all of them in 5 minutes. They will ask you to talk more. Don't listen to them all. Just go ahead.
First of all, it is not professor, it's not doctor. I'm just Mr. DK Chukwumerich. The question on national healing or reconciliation, I think our mommy, Mr. Keredelu, and our honorable answered it perfectly. We're not doing this for them, we're doing it for us. If we need to heal, and so we need to have that conversation and start teaching our children so that we can heal. Because the more we sink into this victim mentality, the more we lose the best part of ourselves. We're Republican people. Now we're becoming a society where if you disagree with me, you want to kill me. That's not Igbo culture. Where is Onyahala Wanne? All this pulling together, that can-do spirit, it comes from a free mind, a free heart. If somebody does something to you, nobody can steal your destiny. Nobody can block your path. No matter what anybody else does, if you decide that you are moving, you are moving. But we are losing that because we are so invested in hatred and bitterness and anger with other people. So having this conversation, we don't need national reconciliation. We need to forgive and release. It's important for us. I agree completely with the unifying power of sports and music and things like that. But sports, I'm a sports person. I've done sports all my life. And I was born and bred in Lagos. I've represented Lagos in national sports festivals, represented Abuja in national sports festivals. Sport alone is not enough. You also need a narrative. Because ideology is countered by ideology, and hatred is an ideology. So we can be winning medals from now till tomorrow. It may not change the hearts of those that are watching us if that sport is not happening within the context of a narrative as well. So I agree that sports is a tool, but we must also be weaving a new narrative about who we are, where we are coming from, and where we need to be going. And it is these narratives that would help the process of creating new values or challenging our value system. Like my brother in the market in Lagos was talking about, people are groping, people are selling substandard products. If we have this mentality where we blame everything that is wrong with Igbo, with how Hausa Fulani people are doing us, we never really stop and look inwards. So everything connects, that if we begin to heal as a people, then we are better able to face our own flaws and our own faults. Everywhere now, Igbo Amaka, which is true, Igbo Amaka, but just like any other human group. There are also places where Igbo Ajoka. And it is this ability to stand and be honest with yourself and see that many times it is your own weakness, it is your own propensity, not another person's hatred, that is stopping you from making progress. My sister that talked about young people, it's very important. In fact, these days, I don't even bother talking to old people because we are all set in our ways. You can talk from now till the cows come home. What somebody thinks is what they think. They will not hear what you are saying. So we focus on younger people now, both in the Southeast and outside. That's where our main focus is now, younger people, and telling them the stories of history in a way that allows them to move forward. There are some people on the other side that have never encountered this kind of Igbo person. So it's important that, in fact, that's one thing the SEDC, I think, can do. You know me, I'm talking as a creative. You can fund, like he said, plays, productions, movies that allow the Southeastern story to be heard in the northern part, and that also allow the northern and the western story to be heard here. It's a very simple thing, but it matters. You can fund cross exchanges, cultural exchanges. Take Igbo to Jos. Let them see. Some people have never left Aba. They've just been Aba all their lives. They don't even know the other ways of living. Bring people from Maiduguri to Enugu to do 1 week and see that in Igbo, we are just like you people. We laugh, we cry, we dance. There's no difference.
And these things they go a long way. And then I think the last thing here is why discussing the national issue? Somebody said, why are we just not focusing on ourselves? My grandfather used to say, that the greatest investment you can make in peace in your compound is to invest in the prosperity of your neighbor. This country is not just Nigeria. This is the Niger area. We are contiguous with other people. You cannot isolate yourself. You cannot be an island of prosperity in a region that is unstable. It's impossible. That is why world powers, why is America here? Why is China here? Why don't they just concentrate on their own countries? Because everybody understands that if I want to be at peace in my country, I have to be involved in your country. So let us stop this isolationist mentality that somehow we can wall ourselves off and we'll just be fine. The greatest investment we can make in the security and safety and prosperity of the Southeast is to care about our neighbors and to make sure it is well. Because if it is well in the North Central, in the Northwest, then we have buffers. In case you don't know, there's a whole region of instability running from Mauritania all the way to Kenya. And it is the North Central, the Northeast, the Northwest, those are your buffers. Remove them and the terrorists will be here in Enugu. So it is in our best interest to ensure that those regions are doing well. We cannot be isolationist in our mentality. Finally, since I'm a poet, let me leave you with a poem. Abi? Is it okay? This poem is titled Obidike. After the storm, Enugu will still be standing. Ani will not be broken. Elekentioba will shake the water off his wings. Egbe will shake the water off his wings. Osisiako will not complain. He will grow branches again. He will sprout new roots. He will bear new fruits. He will raise his crown like a king and ask Ikuku to sing. Ikuku will whisper in the grass where the shadows come and pass over Okute, but Okute stays, outliving the troubled days. He sets his face like a lion, his heart like iron, because he knows that Amun chases the night. Ototo chases the night. And when Ochichiri has finished shouting, Eligwe will not have fallen.
Wow, thank you so much. I think we can clap more to that. She deserves a standing ovation. DK, thank you so much for that rendition. Thank you, His Excellency Acting Governor, our Exchequer of the Southeast Development Commission. That was great. So we are going to be rounding up this session. As we bring this session to a close, one thing is very clear. Vision 2050 will not succeed on policy alone. It will succeed only if we heal what history had fractured, restore values that once bound us, and rebuild trust where fear and silence have taken root. So we can bring back that can-do spirit, which has suddenly been replaced with acute victims mentality. That's so not us. So the Southeast, yes, we have lost a lot, but the Southeast has not lost its soul. Healing gives us clarity, values gives us direction, but social cohesion gives us strength. If we are deliberate about these three things, including not migrating at will, but dealing with our issues, our challenges, and telling ourselves the home truth while retaining what makes us a people right here on ground, Nani Igbo.